adding one habit at a time is okay, but if there was a good way to add, say, half a dozen, wouldn't that be better? But how would you do such a thing? Well, that's our question today. Hi everyone, my name is Paul Allen Clifford and I'm your host, and I'd love for you to join the conversation by asking your questions, leaving your comments either below the video if you're on trinitydigitalmedia.com or YouTube, or you could do it by heading over to trinitydigitalmedia.com and /contact, and there you'll find all my contact information, even my Twitter account, which is Paul Allen Cliff, PaulAlanClif. This is the show where every week I help you change lives and eternities by following your calling, following your passion, becoming who you really were always meant to be. So let's start talking about another great way of doing that. Wouldn't it be great if there was a way to add several positive habits into your life at once, instead of just going, okay, well, I'm going to watch less TV, or I'm going to write more, or I'm going to start exercising? What if you could add a bunch of little ones all in one fell swoop? Let's talk about habit batching. So this is a concept of creating a situation where you're actually adding several small habits into your life, but your mind thinks of it as just adding one big one. So let's talk about that. So in order to add a habit, you have to have a trigger, a habit itself, and then a reward. Now the reward in your mind might be, yay, I did it, I always meant to. Or it could be something else. It could be some money, it could be something like that. It can also be that the reward is you don't lose something. And sometimes that's a more powerful reward. Like if you say that your reward is you're not going to lose $50, for a lot of people that will be enough. So just think about that. That's just a side note just for free. So the first thing I want you to consider is, what is a group of habits that make sense to go together? So, for example, maybe you are in a bad habit of when you wake up, you go to the bathroom, but you don't necessarily brush your teeth then, you don't necessarily floss, you don't necessarily brush your hair, you do something else, and then sometimes you run out of time in your morning and you find that you have to skip one of those things. So a good habit would be to take care of all of that in one fell swoop. So how would you do that? Well, let's do it this way. Let's set the trigger in our head of I wake up and I go to the bathroom. And that's when I do everything. So right now, what I want you to do is I want you to make a checklist. And the checklist is all the things that you need to accomplish in the bathroom. So when you go in there, you just follow through the checklist. Don't say, well, I know what I need to do. No, in the moment, you might forget something. So part of the habit is doing the same thing in the same order every day. So make a checklist and put that in your bathroom. Put it on your mirror or wherever, maybe above the toilet, maybe above the wall across from the toilet. I don't know which is the best place for you. Just put the checklist somewhere where you can see it every morning when you go in. Now, make sure you put every last little habit that makes sense for you to put there. So checking the mail before I go to work doesn't make sense to do there. In fact, I think I would do that somewhere else. But brushing my teeth, flossing, brushing my hair, those three make sense to put right there. Putting on deodorant, for example, another thing that makes sense to put right there. So let's say those are four things. Maybe you do those every day, but you sometimes forget, or you get busy, or you're in a rush and you just don't have time. So put them all together where they make sense in the order that they make sense. And what I want you to do is every morning when you wake up, you make it a habit to go through that checklist. So you wake up, you use the restroom to take care of business, then you brush your teeth, then you floss, then you brush your hair, and then you put on deodorant. Every day you do that. As soon as you're done doing all four things, you can go about your day and you say to yourself, yes, I accomplished my goal. Or you say to yourself, one more buck I'm going to spend on myself, guilt-free, or what have you. So go through the entire list every day and do that constantly, consistently, day in and day out for 20 days to 6 weeks. I bet after that time, this starts to become automatic. You just think, well, why didn't I do this before? That is habit batching. It's the idea that you take similar tasks that happen at the same time as the result of the same trigger, and you just do them all at once. So let me give you an example from my own life. What I used to do is I used to walk downstairs, grab a Little Debbie, and go back upstairs, and that was my breakfast. Well, I wanted to eat something healthier, and you all may not agree with whether this is a healthier breakfast, but that doesn't matter. I needed more protein in my life, so I decided that I would make an omelet every morning. So here is the order of events that I go through every morning. I walk downstairs, I make my coffee. After I make my coffee, I grab a pan. I've got two that I rotate out, so there should always be one clean. I grab the eggs, I grab the ham, I grab the cheese, and while my coffee is brewing, I make my omelet. Then, while my omelet is cooking, I grab a little plate, I grab a fork, and I finish my omelet. About then, the coffee beeps, and I pour that into my cup, I sit down, and I eat it. So I have my normal breakfast that I have every single day that I can rely on having a certain amount of protein. I think it's 24 to 30 grams of protein in my 3-egg omelet with the ham and cheese in there. So it's a good amount of protein in the morning. And I don't leave things out of that routine. I just do it exactly the same every morning. And it's a habit. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to think, now what ingredients am I putting in today? Do I have everything? Etc. No, I just know this is the habit. So that is a habit batch. It's a group of habits where once you have established them, then they just flow one to the other. And your brain doesn't have to think about it. It just goes bop, 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 bop. Likewise, when I do these shows, I get into the office and I fire up a little Chrome extension called Social Ba, and I make the announcement of what the show of the day is going to be about. Then I send that. Then I fire up Wirecast and any other software I need to fire up. Then I go to churchtechcast.com and I pop out the chat window. I click on Social Ba again, and this time I pre-write the announcement that the show is live. And then hopefully I've done all this in time that I can go get ready for the show, brush my hair, etc. Because I wait and do that until after I've eaten. So I brush my hair, brush my teeth, etc. Then I come back, put the microphone on. At 11 o'clock, I make the announcement. I start streaming, I start recording, and I do the show. So all those things by themselves, if I had to think about them, would be kind of a long list. But the fact that they're a habit makes it easier for me to do it. So that's what I want you to do this week. I want you to make a list of little habits that you keep meaning to do, or sometimes you run out of time to do, or what have you. Put them together with another routine that you're already doing as a trigger, and reward yourself in some way once you're done. And I think after you do that, you'll find that you're positively affecting your life. And by the way, you can do this with all aspects of your life. If it's that you want to watch TV more, well, probably not more, probably less, then you can do that. If you want to write more, you can probably do that. If you want to work on a business idea, you can probably do that. If you want to develop relationships with others, you can probably do that, etc. So put together little habits that you can do that will really positively affect your life, and in that way you can go out and change eternity. If you like the show, don't forget to subscribe to it, like, comment, share, etc. One of the best ways that you can help is to share this show with others that you think would find it interesting or helpful. The other way, of course, is always going to patreon.com/PaulAlanCliff, patreon.com/PaulAlanClif, and you can donate some to the show in that case. Either way is perfectly fine. More people watching helps. More money coming in to support all that I'm doing here also helps. And that's what I want to do for you, is I want to help you. So don't forget, if you have any questions or comments, trinitydigitalmedia.com/contact, or right below the video. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I don't know why, because it's free. You can do it on YouTube or trinitydigitalmedia.com/subscribe. Until next time, this is Paul Allen Clifford with trinitydigitalmedia.com.